Hey guys, this is Eric Weingarten with Weingarten Racing. It's Saturday, so it's an update video day. This is the last update video before the Cam Challenge, which starts on Monday. Now this part's huge, and I'm putting this out to you, so hopefully you all got it. Yesterday morning, I spent several hours emailing every single person that's donated to the Cam Challenge, with the exception of this group, and I'll get to them in a minute, all the Cam cards. The only people that I have not sent the Cam cards to are the ones that purchased after Friday morning. If you purchase, say, Friday morning, Friday afternoon, even this morning, or even tomorrow, tonight, whatever, you're still going to get the Cam cards. I'm just going to wait until I got them all together on Sunday night. And that large group that still remains, those guys, I will send you out your Cam cards on Sunday. You might say, why? That's unfair. Here's the reason why. I'm trying to put as large a group changed as I can together. So for instance, there were like 400 or something people that donated to the Cam Challenge. I put as many as I could into one email group, and then I sent out the email with all the Cam cards. And the reason why the large group is because on Monday, when the competition starts, I'll be emailing you that those same groups will be getting the actual dyno results. So instead of having to send out 20 or 30 different emails, I'm only going to have to send out 6. It would save me time. So for the ones that purchased yesterday morning and later all the way to Sunday night, you're still going to get the Cam cards before I leave, which will be for sure Sunday night. And on Monday, you're going to get the dyno results the same time as everybody else that donated. So hopefully that makes somewhat of sense. So, but if you're like, wait a minute, I didn't see the Cam cards and I donated. Anybody that purchased it through the store, the BraveNet store that I have, your email you entered. If you entered the wrong email, you didn't get it. The best thing I tell you to do is go back and purchase another dyno donation. I know at least 3 people's emails got kicked back. So it came back to me and said, hey, these are blocked or something. But they are there. You might have to check your spam folder, but you have the cards. All 23 Cam cards have been sent, except for to that small group I already mentioned. So look at those, study those, and be mesmerized by those. And since now that they're out there, I could say the one that I think is the most different of all of them is the one that's by Karsten Kafer. Karsten's was, now he's in Germany, but if you look at his camshaft, when you get the Cam cards, he was the only one, and I've heard of people doing it, but I've never seen it done, where they has a less exhaust split than intake split. So for instance, and I'm probably wrong on this, so it's the reason why we have the Cam cards, I believe his intake duration was 242 degrees. His exhaust duration was 240, which means he has 2 degrees less on exhaust than he does intake. I've heard of people doing it, never seen anybody actually run it. We'll find that out. He's also got a way advanced, like 9 degrees advanced. So definitely an interesting one. There's a whole bunch of stuff in those cards we'll see. We'll be like, wow, that's unique. So it will have the cards and the name of the people that are on there, and you get to see how many there are. And if you look at the cards, you can figure out who Anonymous is now as well. So anyway, that's out, and that's what's those Cam cards available. Study them, look them over. We're going to find out what they do. So talking's about to end in 3 days, and then it's just results. What do the results say? So here's how it's going to work for those that don't know. Monday, I'm going to show up at Dunsworth. I'm going to be there about 7 o'clock. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the heads that are on their engine now and put on the Pro Max ones that I told I was going to use in the video. They're going to get torqued down. I'm going to put the Super Victor on and put the Texas Speed camshaft stage 2 in it. Now, that's not a competitor. That's just the baseline. It's been tested on every single set of LS heads that I've put on this Dyno Mule. So I need that one anyway to have the baseline to see how these heads compare to the other heads I've already tested. Once that's done, so I put the Texas Speed in there. Once it's in there, I'm going to make some pulls. I'm going to get the air-fuel ratio to about 12.8 to 13.0 on the carburetor. We're going to play with timing to get it where it should be. And once that's done, that's it. That is our baseline. From that point on, what's going to happen is I'm going to pull out the camshafts and start changing. But I do say before I can even put the Texas Speed camshaft in, this sucks. You wouldn't think it'd be this big a deal, but it ends up taking a lot of time. I'm going to try to, and I've contacted every one of the competitors to see if they want me to check the push rod, but I'm going to take each one of the camshafts that asks, I'm going to put the camshaft in, got my push rod link checker to check the preload to see what they want. So I've got 3 different links of push rods, although in all fairness, 2 of the Texas Speed's already been ran with this set of push rods at this length, and so is another cam that's already entered. So anyway, those are fine, but I'm going to check them. That's going to take a while. So if I'm lucky, I might get done with that by noon if I'm lucky. So maybe Texas Speed will get their pool in the afternoon, and then I can start tearing in, and maybe, if I'm super lucky, I'll get at least one of the camshafts ran on Monday. The first competitor, and if you have to watch the other videos to see the order, will be GPI. So they'll be the first one running. So if things go well, theirs will be ran on Monday. If things go really well, we'll have 2 camshafts run on Monday. If things go extremely well, maybe 3. Then Tuesday is just switching camshafts. Bam, bam. Now, as far as videoing goes, I haven't had a chance to even look at the live feed thing. And here's what I mean by that. Whenever I tried before to click on live feed on YouTube, it said I had to do certain thing first, which I don't even remember what it is. But which makes no sense because I've got like 600 videos. You figure they just let me just do live feed. So I don't think it even will let me do it. Something I have to do or submit something, or I don't even remember. But I don't think I can do live feed. So sorry on that. So here's what I am going to do. I've got a GoPro, and I spent some money and bought some SD cards that have lots of memory. Hopefully they have enough to make it through. I've got attachments in there so I can plug into my GoPro so it's got enough power to run through the day. I'm going to set up a GoPro on the dyno console so you can see what we're seeing. I will warn you, I'm going to talk to Superflow so I can change the dials on what you're seeing. Because Gary at Dunsworth Machine, his dials have always said uncorrected horsepower and torque. So people always like, it only made 500, but when you correct it, it makes more. So what I'm going to have on the screen is the corrected numbers. All you got to do is just change it's not changing the calibration, by the way. You're just showing a different gauge. And the reason why is because I don't want viewers going, well, how does it make 650 if it says it only made 590 on that? I don't want that. So instead, we're just setting it up that way. But I am going to set up a GoPro on the screen, and it'll be recording the whole time. So even if we're making cam changes and whatnot. And then I'm going to try to set up my other iPhone. I got a cheap iPhone to set up in the dyno room to just record what's going on there. Chances are that iPhone will run out of memory before time's up for us to get that through anyway. So us actually in the dyno room probably won't have enough memory to make that happen. The GoPro on the dyno console through the 8 hours, yeah. This way you don't have people claiming I'm cheating by entering a different calibration for one competitor versus the other. So that brings up this. The calibration is not being changed. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to even have them touch the calibrations at all on the dyno. And you might say, why? That's not right. Because although this is a cam test, this isn't the only test that's been done on this motor. This motor has had 3 different sets of cylinder heads already on it. If I change the calibration now, it will change the results I see for this different set of cylinder heads. Because I've actually 4 sets. I've tested the 823 castings, I've tested the AFR LS3 enforcers, and I've tested the Promax small bore. This will be the Promax large bore. If I change the calibration, it won't be right. And here's what I mean by that. I can't compare those 4 heads, and that's going to make me frustrated. So the calibration is not changing at all. Whatever it is, it's the same. So if it's high or low, it's the high or low for every single one of the cams that are in there to keep everything the same. And I should point out, I know people say this because they're ignorant. This dyno does not read high. I know people would love to believe that, but I have taken the engines from this to several other dynos throughout the times, and it has almost never, there's been exactly one time where a dyno has made less power than it made at Dunsworth. So the same engine, take it to a different dyno, made less. Only one, and that's out of like 12. So, and usually the differences are way, way, way higher, like 30 or 40 higher. And I'm including my Engine Masters experience with that. So the dyno does not read high. Contrary to what some people like to say. I always say, bring your engine, it'll humble you too. But anyway, the calibration is not changing. So whether it's high or low, it doesn't really matter. It's the same for every single one. And then as the day goes by, so at the end of Monday, I'm going to I will be printing off the sheets, the dyno sheets for each one. And at the end of Monday, I will then send those out as an email to the people that have donated. The competitors, I'm going to text you all of them so you'll actually get them up to date, unless I just happen to forget because we're busy. And that's how it's going to work. At the end of the competition, so I'm hoping I can get it done by Friday. If it goes longer, it goes longer. At the end of the competition, I still won't declare a winner, but you guys will the internet will assume a winner. Because the first thing I have to do after that is I will take the winner's camshaft. I'll probably take top 3. I'm going to go put them on a cam doctor to make sure they didn't violate the 660 lift. And that's the only thing that would make them illegal. The only other thing I'll see is if what the cam doctor says doesn't match what their cam card says. And then that will be to you guys. So this way you'll know. And then I'll declare a winner. If there's a tie, the winnings get split among the winners. The winnings, by the way, the least amount of money they can win is about $1,700 bucks. The most amount of money is about $5,000. Like, how is that possible? Because I said from the beginning, anytime the dyno donations went into play, after whatever it cost me for the dyno, whatever remains of that cost from the amount of money that people have donated, that amount of money that you donated, pay for the dyno cost. Beyond that, it's split. 50 goes to me and 50 goes to the winner. So the winner could win up to $5,000, but I have no idea how much of this dyno is actually going to cost because I'm hoping we get it done within a week, but if it goes longer, you get the idea. Also, if things break or something, I got to buy something else. That's it. So the winner could walk away with a pretty good chunk of change. Regardless, walking away with $1,700 guaranteed, that's not bad. It's not bad, especially for racers. You can go to a bracket race and spend $20,000 on your car, race against your other stuff for hours, and only win maybe $1,000. So this, to me, it's a pretty good deal. After that's over, this is for the rest of you guys. After the camshaft winner is done, I'm really, really hoping that this thing goes smooth because I want to do another one. And the plans I have for the next one, as long as this doesn't give me any problems, it's going to be big. I mean, really big. I got something really neat planned, and it's going to be awesome. So I can't wait to do that. It'll be better. Get more information anyway. So, but let's get through this one first. That's the first thing. I've also got another thing I've got in mind to test as well for another challenge for fun. But that's later on down the road. Just getting through this. I do want to thank everybody that donated because without that, we wouldn't be where we are. It's just the way it is. I know you hate these videos when you just see me talking because it feels wrong. It feels like it's just boring and you can walk away. I totally get it, but I'm just trying to give as much information. Speaking of which, if you think that's boring, this will be totally boring. At the end of each dyno day, so like Monday, I'm going to pull out the SD card on the GoPro and I'm just going to put it onto the computer and upload it to YouTube, and it will be unedited. So talk about boring for those that were like, I want to see what's going on. I want to see if you're cheating. An 8-hour video. Hopefully it'll let me upload it. 8-hour video I will put out of the whole run. So this way no one can say you cheated, and also it's there. But it'll be pretty boring because in all fairness, the amount of time that's the engine's running, 5 or 7 minutes. And then probably 30 or 40 minutes of us changing a cam. So 5 or 7 minutes every, 30 or 40 minutes. You get the idea. It's going to be, but I'll put it out there so you'll have that. Anyway, that's how that will go. Try to be as fair as possible. I really don't care who wins, for the record. It doesn't make a difference to me who wins or loses. The sad part is I told the guys today, all the competitors, I think you're all winners. Because a lot of people claim that they're camshaft experts, and they claim in comments, they'll claim in forum comments about how good they know everything is, and never prove it. And they still haven't proven it. They're like, oh, I proved it, I've done X and this and blah, blah, blah. Probably their engine builders or whoever else did it and made it look good, or you're taking credit for someone else's work. This is strictly camshaft. And you didn't have the balls to enter. So, to me, everyone that's entered is a winner. I mean, truly. And I'm not like, everybody's a winner. These guys are the bravest ones to enter. But I also told them, I understand that I think we'll all feel that you guys are great and have done something amazing to make things happen. But I also know the internet will see 22 losers and 1 winner. But that ain't fair. So, anyway, that's about it. Again, I'm going to put a link in the description in this video too if you'd still like to donate so you can see these cam cards and so you can get live updates. If you're wondering about, well, when will you actually put out a video for us guys that didn't donate? It'll come out. I have no idea when. Because obviously that's a lot of editing. The other thing is, obviously I'm not putting out a video next week because there's 8 hours of, probably more than that, of time just on the dyno. Dynoed all the days. So you're not going to get a video. And even then, when I get it done, I need to edit it and make it comprehensible in small little chunks so people can watch. I don't know when the actual video will come that you can watch for free. You know, maybe you watch through an ad or whatever. I don't know when that will be. But I do know if you donate, I'll give that results to you right away. And if that seems unfair, I'm sorry. It's just the way the life is. That's why they have premium subscriptions for everything else. And I'm not trying to be that guy. It feels to me if you've helped the cause, you should be rewarded. And that's your reward. It's not that people that don't have any money shouldn't. They just help too. So anyway, that's about the best I could tell you. Probably went a little bit long. My little CNC Dragon Slayers. I wish people would buy this so I could make some money. This one's actually got the copper seats. I still got to put the whole bunch of work to do this one still. Got to put the guides in, valve job, blend all this stuff. It's got a lot to do still, and milling. Although the surface looks pretty smooth. I'm surprised. I think I might have milled it before I sent it. But anyway, there's all that's up. And that pretty much ends the video. But since my son swam, so if you don't care about my son swimming, I always like to brag on my son because that's my dad's job. That ends the video. So you can stop now. I won't fault you or nothing. This one's about my son and his swimming. So his season kicked off last week. And so I was gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I shouldn't say gone. He had a meet at Jinx, but it's pretty much takes up the whole day. This was the first one this is called short course, which means if you watch the Olympics, they're a long course. So they swim the entire length of the pool. You're like, I thought they do in other ones. The pool length's actually shorter for short course. It's about half. But anyway, so high school and everything else pretty much runs short course. So anyway, he had 7 events, and again, this is the start of the year, but it was, I don't know. It looks like his coach each year works with a different swimming technique as far as the stroke to make him faster. And I think it always takes a little time for him to kind of catch on. But in the end, it does make him faster. But right now, it just wasn't. And I haven't even brought up anything with him at all. Because I know he probably wasn't too happy with his times either. And to me, it's like, I just watched you just do a practice, pretty much. You practice very hard, but I got it. This is the beginning stage. This isn't the end. This is, if you're getting a haircut, this is the first cut, not the last one. So I get it. But he just didn't. I think it's the first meet ever where he didn't drop time in at least one event. He added time, which was weird. And let me kind of give it. So the first one was the mile. And he really does not care about that. And it showed. Like, he used to try to do well on that. He just doesn't. He just did it to get it done. The coach said she only made him do this one because they have to have one of them during the year. But yeah, it was slow. He could go a lot faster. You could tell he just taking it easy. But then the next day, he had a 100 freestyle, which he's usually pretty good at. And he had a 50 freestyle, which I actually thought that one he'd break his time. Because he still has a crappy time. Because every time he's in competition doing the 50 freestyle, every single time, something goes wrong. He screws it up in some way. And so his time has been stuck at the same spot it was almost on his sophomore year, which is really slow, like a 25-20. And it's not slow, but it's not fast. To give you an idea, I saw him in one of his relays do a 23-10. So, and then he was the lead off. So in a relay, or maybe even in the 100 free, the first split, he always is fantastic. But for whatever reason, when he has to do just the 50, he botches it. But I thought this was going to be the one he's going to break it. But he didn't. He missed the wall. And for those that don't know, he swam all the way down. And he goes to do his turn. And I don't know what's going on with him missing the wall, because he did it a lot last year too. 3 times, same pool. Whiffed it. In other words, he turned and barely touched the wall, but got no push off from it. So no recovery. So it was like a 26.70 something, which is insanely slow. It was like a second and a half slower than what he'd gone. And this is like knowing he could do a 23.10. I know he can. So it was like, oh my gosh. That was his only hope of things he would have dropped. All the rest weren't. His 200, which I was somewhat happy with this, he went a 2 minute and 56 seconds. He's gone a 1:55. But that was at the end of the season in a tech suit and ready to go. So it is heartbreaking to watch him go slower. But then on that one though, I was actually kind of pleased because I looked at the same time last year and he was like a 2:03. So from year to year, he's 3 seconds faster. And if you look at it, he was a 2:03 when he started last season. He ended with the 1:55. So now he's starting at a 2:0. So he might end in like a 1:52. So like, again, this is just the beginning. But it was tough. So I didn't bring up anything about the meet with him. I didn't talk about the meet at all. And I don't know that he was necessarily upset. I think he thinks the same way because his coach is like, look, you've already got an interview with your college that you want to swim at. They seem like they're interested, so just relax. This is just the beginning stages. Everything's going to be fine. I think parents, we just probably putting too much pressure. So this year, my goal is not to talk about the swim stuff at all unless he brings it up with me. I want him to feel pressure from me. But anyway, on Tuesday, because, again, it's swim season. Tuesday, he had the swim meet now. Instead of for club, he has the one for high school. And this was like their intramural, so it's black gold. The colors for Broken Arrow, black and gold. So half the team goes up against the other half of the team. He did great. So watching him swim, he did a 200, but he just got done doing something else. So it wasn't like he was in his best form anyway. And he'd been swimming now, that made like 10 straight days of hard swimming. And several of those days are 2-a-day practices. As a matter of fact, that was a 2-day practice too. So anyway, he did swim okay. But then this is what shocks me. I'm only bringing this up because I was like, oh, this is super to be proud of. This is where the seniors come, or not the seniors, but the people that alumni come back. So any of the kids that have graduated from Broken Arrow that had swam can come back and they could swim as well. And usually the alumni race each other, but there's only one alumni that wanted to race them. His name was Cade Simpson. He goes to OSU. He's a great kid. He was the fastest freestyler last year when he was there. And I think he went like 23 somethings. So this is cool. He said, I want to race you, Bishop. And Bishop's like, let's go. Get on the blocks. And amazing. This is what I mean. When it doesn't count, he flies. So they took off and Bishop beat him. And he went a 24.79. This is literally, got done doing the 200, get up on the blocks to go to do the 50. So it's not going to be his best time ever anyway. But it recorded his best time he ever had doing just the 50. Which was, I was like, God, you were 2 seconds faster than what you did at Jinx when it really mattered. And it was just like, it kills me. He's so fast when it doesn't matter at that one. For the record, he's not a sprinter anyway. He's a 200 and 500 guy. But anyway, I had to give you a little bit about my son. I know you don't care. You don't care. I get it. But I love cars. I love dynoing. I love all that. But that ain't got nothing on my son. Understand that. And this is my last year with him. So he is a senior. In a couple of weeks, we got to go to Arkadelphia, Arkansas. And because he's going to go do a tour visit of Henderson State, where it's where he wants to swim. And so that's like 5 hours or 4.5 hours from here. So I understand that after this year's over, so I'm enjoying as much as I can, because once this year's over, I won't get to see him near as much. And if you have any child that's in college, or if you've ever been, you know that once you leave your parents' house, the person you are kind of changes. So I'm enjoying the Bishop I have now, because I know the Bishop will be different later. And not for the worse. It doesn't necessarily mean worse. It's just different. It's kind of like when you have a child, you really don't have one child. You have 5 child. So it doesn't matter if you had 3 or 4. And what I mean by this is you had an infant, and then you had a toddler. And then you had the inquisitive mind that asks questions, how, why. Then after that, you have the one that wants to be with you all the time. You want to that wants to be with their father and the mother and like hanging out and having a good time. And then you get the middle schooler. And then they want nothing to do with you. And things change. And then now I have a high schooler. And that child's different than the other ones. He's more independent, does his own stuff. He doesn't totally hate us, but he does. I mean, you get what I mean by middle school. They kind of get that attitude. But high school, they're starting to respect you more, coming back into that respect thing. But the other thing that happens in high school, they think that they know it all. And I'm about to have another one where I'll be a college kid. So I know this is the last part of this step. So I'm trying to enjoy it. So, and I'm super proud of him. I mean, of all things in the world, so I've got, all things that could happen. The most lucky I've ever been is my son. So anyway, I went a little bit long on that. I told you guys I didn't have to watch this thing about my son swimming. I brag on him when he does swim meets, but I usually put it at the end and I tell you guys first so you can turn it off. But damn, I'm proud of him. Anyway, Monday, the talking stops and the dyno starts. Remember, I don't port cast iron heads, and don't say, because I had this happen at least 3 times now. I love your videos, man. I'm a huge fan. Can you port these set of cast iron heads for me? I watch all your videos. I literally have had that happen 3 times now. And I'm like, and every time I email back or text back or ask them when they're on the phone, do you watch all my videos? Yeah, I watch every one. Do you watch them all the way to the end? I do some of them. Because on every single video I say I don't port cast iron heads. So I'm saying it again. I don't port cast iron heads. It's nothing against you. I don't want to port cast iron heads. I am no Superman, and we're going to definitely find that out next week. And you guys, take care.